Hey folks, JD here, and today, as it's a weekly update, it's a bit different. We're going to be having all of what's coming this week at the bottom in a little ticker, just for a change. So today what I wanted to talk to you about was my thoughts on the Hubsan Zino, just to finish off this sort of series of videos after having the Zino for a fortnight. So here she is. And to be honest, when I first had this, when I was unboxing it, I did say that I wanted to hate it, and I did. I didn't want to like it. I'd seen a few videos, which is kind of a little bit strange for me to begin with. I don't like watching videos if I'm going to own the quad further on down the line. I like to make my own mind up, then I'll go back and watch other people's videos on it. But what I had seen, because I was quite excited with Hubsan bringing out sort of like a semi-professional-ish quadcopter, I was really excited to see how it was going to function. And because the quad is quite new, it only came out in December. That's when everybody who pre-ordered it started to leak into January and February for a lot of other people. I really wanted to see how it was going to do. Now, the first firmware revision was absolute garbage. The quadcopter did not fly well. There were glitches all over the video. It just wasn't great. Some people have experienced that, some people haven't. So when I got this, I literally unboxed it, updated the firmware on the transmitter and the firmware on the quadcopter, and then I thought I would take her out. My overall experiences with it are very, very good, as you saw last week. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday and Sunday were all Hubsan based videos where I was showing different features, different functions. You can find the whole list in the description of this video if you haven't seen them and if you choose to have a little look at them. I thought it was very, very good. Now, the first flight test, I was in 10 to 12 mile an hour winds, and she doesn't handle winds too great. It's not really the end of the world, as she has got that GPS lock, she has got that stability, but you will notice fluctuations in her. They weren't tremendous. It didn't make me think, actually, do you know what, this is dangerous, I'm going to ground her, but it did make me just aware that her movement may be a little bit, won't be as solid then when she's up at height. So I took her out, we had a little look at her, I thought she was very good, I thought the camera was superb, I really did. But there's one thing I want to say about the camera, and that is that even though the camera quality from the video is very good at 4K at 30 frames a second, the gimbal is very fragile. Now, a gimbal is meant to float and meant to move, and there is going to be a little bit of movement, but I find this one, in comparing it to other quadcopters of a similar price range, like the Spark, I find this to be a little bit flimsy. So I would say be very careful with that gimbal. Now, I know what people are going to say, you can't compare the Hubsan to the Spark. Well, guess what? I just did. And why? Because at full price, this is more expensive than the Spark. And even though I only paid £270, £280 for it to be delivered, I did find that if I would not have been as satisfied with this if I had paid £500. I thought Hubsan are well punching above their weight at £500 for this. I really do. But at £270, even into the £300, £350 market, I would happily pay that all day long. But that is one thing. I do find that gimbal to be a little bit flimsy. Not have a problem with it, but if you catch it, you may do it damage. Now, that being said, the camera quality out of the box, I was astounded with. I was seeing a few other people's videos and I thought, there's no way that looks like that. It really doesn't. But it does. They have chosen a very good lens. They've chosen a very good image processor. They've chosen a very good bunch of technology in here to give you that very, very nice, crisp looking video. Okay, in some lights it can look a little bit saturated. It can look a little bit too dark, too light, but you get the same anyway. It's all down to that lens and how much light you can bash into it, the same as a standard handheld camera like I'm using now. The light around me isn't great, which is why half of my face looks quite dark and the other half looks quite light, because I've only got one window to my right, even though I've got various lights on in here to try and create a bit of separation. Now, with that video, I was so astounded. You saw yesterday's distance flight when I took her out over the coast. I thought that video, the video quality rather, was just exceptional. You could see all the different colours you could pick up in the bluebells of the field. You could see everything. It just looked so nice. Not altered, not doctored. None of my videos are. They're all exactly as I take them. All raw, straight off the SD card. bang it into Final Cut and then bang it online for you guys to see. All in all, the camera, A+. Battery life. Now this is a little bit controversial. As we all know, batteries are like muscles. You have to work them, not as much as you used to, but it is advised to work them, charge them, discharge them, charge them, discharge them, and then over time you will see your battery life usually increased for the better. Now with this, I was quite happy with the flight time. I think that from memory it was about 15-17 minutes, whereas they'd rated 25. In the unboxing I said we weren't going to get 25. I think I rated it at about 20, so it just came under that for first flight. That's why I got the 2 battery pack, so I could just whack another one in after 15 minutes and take her back up. I think that is going to get slightly better. I've done maybe loads of flights with this since, and I have noticed the battery getting slightly better. Not much, only by the minute value for the second. I think once we've done about 6 to 8 charges of each battery, I think we're going to see a lot better battery life from that. Now the transmitter, the resolution on the sticks, I thought that was very nice. Now, because this quadcopter's movements in normal and in speed mode are quite erratic, the pitch is quite violent. The resolution of the sticks is very, very important, so that you can try and limit that erraticness and that violent mode. So with let me just show you, where the hell have I put it? I put the bag somewhere and I can't, it's down here. And let me show you what I mean. So here's the transmitter, your standard looking transmitter. What I'm going to do, I'm going to show you on the right hand stick here. So normally you have a very sort of high movement will give you a very sort of nice slow panning shot, usually with a DJI quadcopter. That does vary. It also varies in how ham-fisted your thumbs are. Mine are quite ham-fisted. But with this, you've got a nice sort of little motion where even 2%, 3% of movement on the sticks, you're going to see that quadcopter move. Now, in the first flight test, I had some wind resistance. It had absolutely, I couldn't cut through it until I was at 3/4, and when I was, she was gone, and that was it. And that was in speed mode 1. Obviously if I'd increased to speed mode 2, then that would bring down the resolution to a lot less of a percentage, but still I wanted to at least push this quad a bit and get something from there. I find this to be really, really good. Nice transmitter. Thankfully, very much these antennas are real. They have got the antennas inside them. I found it to be a very comfy, usable transmitter with very great distance. Yesterday's distance test, we did 270 meters, and there's a distance test coming up maybe this week or next week where I've done over 460 meters, and this performed very, very well. You plug your smartphone into your transmitter the same as you would with the DJI, and I find again that the FPV relay back to this is fantastic. So this amplifies signal very, very well, and at no point did I think I was going to lose the quadcopter because this wasn't responding as it should have. Your LEDs at the bottom are very, very easy to see. The blue stands out. You can see full bars of full, and when it drops it goes down to 3, 2, 1. Standard LED battery notification system works very, very well. Overall, I'm very happy. I am very happy. And what makes me even happier is the fact that I wanted to hate this. I did not want to like it. I wanted the flight test in a way. I wanted it to not be as positive. I wanted it to be a little bit more negative. I wanted to say, well, Hubsan, you've got to fix this, this and this. And I think that last firmware release that they've updated, that they've brought out, I think that has fixed a myriad of problems and actually made this quadcopter one to be reckoned with. I'm still, and I frowned a bit there. I love it. I would buy another one tomorrow. I honestly would. As long as they keep the firmware version as it is. And I like to update everything from my home servers, my home lab to my computers. I like to get the brand new bleeding edge things, nightly builds. Let's install it. Let's see how it goes. But I think this quad with the latest firmware, that's as good as it's going to get, and I very much hope that they keep that as it is, because now I have no problem in taking this out to distance, bringing it back. The return to home function works well. Waypoints, I've never used a waypoint system as easy as this. Draw, submit and go, and that's it. It's very, very good. I am very, very happy with this. Let me know your thoughts. What are your thoughts on the Zino? Did you have it right at the start when you had that firmware issue that some people experienced? Have you experienced that? I know UK sewing machine. You, Don, you've kept your firmware on the older version. You don't have any issue with it. Other people, what do you reckon? Folks, let me know in the comments. Have you updated it? Is this going to be something that you go for? I mean, one negative point to me, and the main reason for me not going for this in the originally was that I know from experience that Hubsan's support is dreadful. I don't know now if that's altered. But this is whenever I sort of eye up an expensive-ish quad, something over like, the 250, 300, 400 mark, I like to know what the aftercare support is going to be. Is it going to be good? Can I counter it? And I know with Hubsan you can't. Just from my past experiences. Now, that being said, I've had one bad Hubsan quadcopter out of the 6 or 7 on this channel. Even now, I'm flying the H117S on the same motors, and the thing is screaming. It's, those motors are battering about, and still I don't have an issue from it. So it's all of that clubbed together, my past experiences, that actually let me go for this. And I'm very happy with it. What are your thoughts? All right then, my friends. I'm glad that you all enjoyed last week. I hope you're going to enjoy this week. Thank you ever so much for watching and listening. I've been JD. You've been fantastic as always. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe and hit that bell too. Hello and welcome to all the new subscribers. I hope you're enjoying the channel. So until next time, my friends, happy RCing.